Streaming services have a lot of music on them, but a lot of people might not know there are whole genres, albums and albums and albums that never made it across the digital divide and that never got uploaded to streaming services like Spotify. You might have seen Questlove's post from a few months back where he was talking about how happy he was that the SOS band were finally on streaming services, which is kind of weird because the way that he spoke about them was like they were these industry giants, and they were. But for whatever reason, their music was never on Spotify until really recently. And they're not the only ones. There's a band called Solaris, and they had their self-titled album put out in 1980. I didn't even know this one existed until I saw it in a record shop and I saw the price and I thought, why would anyone pay this much for this record? And then you Google and you realize it's because it doesn't really exist anywhere else except in physical form. Now obviously someone's ripped it off the vinyl and uploaded it to YouTube in terrible audio quality. So it is there, but it's not available on the popular streaming services. And there are so many more. Starview's Upward Bound, beautiful Chicago soul album. Even till recently, De La Soul, none of their stuff could be found. Aaliyah's early stuff, Garth Brooks, there are a whole bunch of people that you just had to have the thing. You had to physically have the vinyl if you wanted to hear this music. And this is the thing. These weren't small projects. These were huge albums. Some of them had some of the best songwriters and producers in the industry, but the industry is exactly the problem. There's a lot of bureaucracy that might have prevented some of the albums from getting digitized, some of the tapes from being faithfully reproduced for digital, the labels falling apart completely, filing for bankruptcy, spats about ownership of albums and publishing and all these little things that we love about the music industry. But there are some corners of the internet, if you look really hard, where you can find really faithful digitizations of these albums. And one such website, if you're willing to spend the time digging through, is Funk My Soul. Amazing website. They've got a whole bunch of lost jazz, soul, funk, R&B from the 70s and the 80s. It's archived so nicely. They've got this newsletter that goes out, I think it's monthly, and they'll talk about all the records that they've recently added to the archive. And it kind of makes you realize if you want the full picture of what was going on, you kind of have to look outside the bubble of streaming. There are a lot of really talented artists that never made it, that put the money together to record their own album, that got it pressed on a small run of vinyls, that might have been available, being bought and sold in record stores or in markets, but now it's just completely fallen off the face of the earth. And that natural attrition doesn't happen anymore because everything that is uploaded online stays online. But it goes to show, if you really want to get a sense for the deep cuts of a certain genre, you might have to look outside the conventional streaming platform because not everything is on the platform. And I'm telling you, some of the best music in the world is not on your favorite streaming platform. They're in pockets of the internet, and if you're willing to make the time and go and dig for them, you never know what you might find.